Greetings, friends. This is Michael Swain, Executive Director of Freedom of Religion South Africa 4SA, with an important update on a development that strikes at the very heart of our democracy, the state's ongoing attempt to regulate religion. Now, as you may know, on October the 2nd, the CRL Rights Commission held a meeting at Rhema Bible Church where it announced the names of those chosen to serve on its Section 22 Committee. But from the start, this process has been mired in controversy. For one, there is no transparency in how these committee members were selected, the majority of whom come from expressions of faith distinct from evangelical Christianity. Yet the CRL chair claimed that they represent 45 million Christians, a wild exaggeration designed to create a false credibility for this committee and its work. When 4SA simply asked how others could participate, the CRL issued an urgent press release accusing us of trying to storm the venue. These accusations were, of course, baseless and inflammatory, but they are an unfortunate part of a pattern to intimidate anyone who dares to speak out against the CRL or its agenda. Significantly, senior Christian leaders who disagreed with this agenda were deliberately excluded from the launch. Several have subsequently responded in writing to state their opposition. SACOF President Pastor Bert Pretorius wrote that, quote, legislated self-regulation would in practice amount to state control. The Apostolic Faith Mission's letter affirmed that, quote, the state's role is to uphold justice, not to determine matters of faith, doctrine, or church leadership. And the Full Gospel Church said, let us not be intimidated by rhetoric, claims of inevitability, or the illusion of legality. We will continue to fight for our constitutional right to self-governance and faithful witness as a church in South Africa. Since the launch, the terms of reference for this committee have now been confirmed, and the implications are alarming. It will only consult the Christian sector, conducting investigations specifically to look for abuses to justify its actions, and then recommend legislation for a so-called peer review system. This is deeply problematic because one faith is being singled out while all other faiths will be impacted and bound by the outcome without having had a say in the process. Make no mistake, this is not self-regulation, no matter how it's dressed up. Self-regulation is by definition voluntary. The moment government creates or enforces a system by law, it becomes state regulation backed by state power. What the CRL is proposing will replace voluntary self-governance with compulsory state control of religion enforced through this quasi-judicial peer review committee that will be accountable to Parliament. This initiative is nothing less than an attempt to turn religious freedom under the rule of law into religion under the license and control of the state. So, how do we respond? Now, 4SA fully supports accountability and justice, but the CRL's actions are unconstitutional because they violate the fundamental right to religious freedom, association, and equality before law. They are unnecessary because South Africa already has extensive laws that deal with abuse, fraud, and exploitation wherever they occur, and there is no such thing as a spiritual crime. What we need is proper enforcement, not new legislation that gives the state power over belief. And they are unjustifiable because it unfairly targets one group. And they are unworkable because no government can effectively license belief or regulate doctrine. So let's be clear. This is a defining moment for South Africa. If we lose freedom of religion, we lose the foundation of every other freedom. So together, let us stand for faith, for freedom, and the future of our democracy. To stay informed on this, visit the 4sa.org.za website and join the thousands who have already signed our petition opposing state regulation of religion, and also follow us on social media. Thank you, and God bless South Africa.
Good day. This is Liesl Pretorius, Head of Legal at Freedom of Religion South Africa. Remember to like and subscribe this video and then click on the subscribe button. That way you make sure that you will never miss our videos and important updates on issues affecting religious freedom.